Welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Milwaukee Hurling Club's Dish from the Pitch, brought to you by Midwest Orthopedic Institute and Guinness. I'm your host, Jack Harold, and this is our co-host, Jason Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, Jack, I can't wait to talk about this week's game. Some close matches, last-minute scoring. The playoff picture is really heating up as we hit the mid-season mark. Let's get right into the action with the first game, Silver Spring House versus Alehouse.
Alehouse came out on fire. Silver Spring House, not so much. They looked a little bit tired, possibly from the early game that morning, but Steve Jacobowski started hammering in the goals right away. He wasn't willing to let anybody catch up to him ever. They got 5 goals, Alehouse did, in the first half, ending the half with a score 5-3 for 18 points to Silver Spring House's 1-4 for 7 points. The second half was all about both teams' defenses. They're both on fire, grabbing up every ball that came on either side of the half lines. All the battling was between the half lines. In the fourth quarter was a slightly different story, though, as Captain Joel from Silver Spring House started making runs at goals, boosting up the score. Alehouse's defense was good at containing the points, and Jake up front still had several good points on their offense to end the game with a final score of Alehouse 6-18 for a total of 26 to Silver Spring House's 4-5 for 17 points. Respectable scores on both sides, but Alehouse really ran away with that game from the get-go. Alehouse really seems to be revitalized. They had a real close but unfortunate loss last week against Shamrock Club, but it was a phenomenal showing. They really brought together. They showed that they're really a team that's got it all going on.
Yeah, Silver Spring House started all right, but they got back on their heels and just couldn't recover. Need to get that game going a little sooner. On to the next game of the day, All-Tool versus Slims. All-Tool was poking at the Slims defense early, and first-time goalie sub Aaron Clapper had some brilliant saves, but short puck-outs by the center fullback weren't helping, and they led to some Legion points. Slims' offense had a hard time getting going as well. They had a lot of possession, but their heavy hitters just weren't clicking. For the Legion, Fair and Box were playing pretty well between the half line, both of them pretty impressive. All-Tool as a whole displayed some spectacular passing in the first half, and the first half score ended with All-Tool 1-6 for 8 points to Slims 0-2 for 2 points. In the second half, both defenses were spectacular, allowing nothing in the nets. There were very few scoring opportunities, and moving the ball became pretty difficult. The Legion in particular was doing a great job of interrupting the passing game of Slims, and some shenanigans erupted as the game wound down. A couple of yellow cards handed out for some passionate play, but Slims was able to get it going in the final quarter with a goal and a few points, but the Legion's lead was insurmountable. Final score, All-Tool 113 for 16 points to Slims 1-6 for 9 points total.
Despite the short puck out, Slim's defense actually played really good all day. They just need to find a way for their offense to get jump-started a little bit earlier in the game.
I agree. Impressive win for All-Tool. They're staying smart, growing as a team, really taking their points, and that's great for them. They're going to need that later as the season progresses. Now on to Shamrock versus Brokaw.
Both teams are incredibly well-balanced, as they've been showing all season long. And this time there was a lot of action, and it was all defensive. It seems to be a common trend in the Hurling Club this season. Great skill was shown every time a score on both sides were made. The first half ended very tight. Brokaw slightly ahead, 2-4 for 10 points to Shamrock's 1-6 for 9 points. The third quarter saw Brokaw getting a little bit tired due to the fact that they had to have substitutes from being down players. They started straying away from their marks a little bit, which opened up to Shamrock Club's aerial assault, which netted the Griffins 1 goal and 2 points, putting them slightly ahead going into the final quarter. In the final quarter, though, Brokaw was back on full assault mode. They got another goal, another 3 points, and Shamrock Club matched their 3 points, but it wasn't enough to hold on, as Brokaw pulled off the win with a miraculous 4 goals, 7 points for 19 total, to Shamrock Club's 2-11 for 17 points. Following on the legend that is Sean Boston Connolly, Brokaw had a team party the night before that really seemed to energize the team. They're coming together nicely as a unit. Their younger players are really stepping up. It's great to see a team really firing on all cylinders for real.
Yeah, great match, Jack. Shamrock Club trying a different lineup a little bit, switching things around. They were close, but they just couldn't get it against Brokaw this week. On to the next game, County Clare versus McCobb's. Man, the defenses were really setting the tone for this game early on in the first quarter. Clare had some shot opportunities. They just couldn't convert them. Jesse Rapkin was able to get a couple through the post from McCobb's, though. And then the offenses really started making their runs as the half progressed. Passing got a little better. Pat Foley got his Gale wins fired up with a goal and a couple points. And Jack Tischer and Noah Idell were tacking on the points for Clare as well. It was anyone's game at halftime, both teams tied at 9 each. The third quarter was all about County Clare, though, with 2 goals and a point before the final water break. McCobb was trying to keep it close, had some valiant stops by William Gebauer and Denise Labatsky, but McCobb carried their defensive surge into the final quarter with brilliant play by Killian Manti. Matt Parquet-Gels was owning the ball between the half lines as well for McCobb's. Logan Kittle and Ryan Kappa were pulling together for Clare to try to hold their lead, but Captain Kyle Christensen slung in the game-winning goal to get McCobb's their first win of the season. Talk about literally a last-minute goal. That was impressive to see.
Yeah, it's great to see McCobb's finally pull off a win. They've had a lot of close games. It's great to see them finally put together 4 quarters in a row in the same game. And Clare, they fought all the way to the end. They really looked like they were going to run away from it with it in the third. McCobb's held on, though. It was a great match all the way around, right to the last second. On to the last game of the day, Trinity Rebels versus Burks Irish Castle Knights. Final game of the day was super tight right from the start. Burks Brian Murphy had a stellar play, a quick goal, but it was followed up very quickly by Ronnie Hansen's return goal, just letting Burks know that, hey, we're still here. And they definitely were the whole game. It was destined to be back and forth. Both defenses, as has been the case all week, were just phenomenal. There was a lot of action. You wouldn't know it from the scoreboard because the defenses were scooping everything up on both sides. The halftime, Burks was slightly ahead with a score of 1-7 for a total of 10 points to Trinity's 1-5 for 8 points. It was anybody's game at this point. In the second half, Trinity looked like they were going to take over with an aerial attack in the third quarter. They put up 7 points in that quarter alone, and Burks seemed a little bit out of gas. The defense on Burks, though, their full line held strong, mainly due to the command of goalie/general Matt Larson. He had an amazing save in the fourth quarter where he just ran up, jumped, snatched the ball out of Nick Tateritz's hands, and cleared it away. Not to be outdone, though, Rebel Megan Neuenschwander had a great block down for a goal that kept the score real tight for Trinity. In the end, though, it just wasn't enough, as Burks won by a single point, 3-12 for 21 points to 2-14, 20 points.
Man, both defenses were just challenging every play, forcing shots wide, making people shoot from odd angles. It was great defensive work on both teams.
Yeah, defenses made all the difference in the game. On to the leaderboard.
Brokaw in command at 4-0, Shamrock and Burks right on their heels. Altool and Silver Spring House rounding out the top of the playoff picture. County Clare's in the mix. Slims and Trinity are looking to rebound. McCobb's and Alehouse are hoping to build on this week's wins. And Irish Pub, we'll see if they can get a win as well as when they play in 2 weeks.
No games next week on July 6th due to the Independence Day weekend break. So join us in 2 weeks on July 13th as the youth take the pitch again. Also see County Clare versus Slim McGinn's. Alehouse Marauders take on McCobb's Gale Wins. Shamrock Club faces off against Burks.
Yeah, big playoff implications there.
Indeed. And Irish Pub looks for their first win against Silver Spring House.
Don't forget to support our sponsors. Practice is optional this Thursday, July 3rd, as we hit the holiday weekend, but the round robin is still at Slim McGinn's. Thursday, July 10th, the round robin will be at Milwaukee Alehouse after practice. And when the games resume in 2 weeks, on Sunday, July 13th, the round robin will be at Silver Spring House.
Homebrewers, if you're still interested in participating in the homebrew contest at the Party at the Pitch on August 10th, please contact Luke Pappenfuss at luke_fuss@yahoo.com. Also, we're always looking for help with the dish from the pitch. If you're interested in flexing your creative muscles, please contact myself or Ashlyn Leonard at dftp@hurling.net or come see us at the field.
Also, check out the online magazine version of the Dish from the Pitch with recaps of this week's games and more. We'll see you next week.